Never fear, the Black Belt Bots are here, presenting another epic experience with your host, RJ Redden.
Hello, my friends. Greetings, Grasshoppers. It is a wonderful week out there, and today I'm celebrating. I chose the red dojo background because today we're talking with Jenny James Mahoney, and the love coach. All right. And so we need a little bit of love to spread around. She's an amazing individual and so full of energy and so full of coolness to give to you today. So let's bring her up and start this little shindig. I'm so happy to have her here with us today. We're going to talk about who she is, what she does. We're going to talk about why she called love coach, and everything, and all things engagement as well. So I'll wait for her to be able to join us. There she is, Jenny. How art thou, Jenny?
Oh my God, I'm floored right now, RJ. Like, wow. Your introduction. That's next level. I was like, oh my gosh, look at these cool effects. This is so incredible. I feel so privileged and honored to be with you.
I'm honored to be with you. It just struck me as we were on a summit together last week. I watched you in the frame, and it was like, there's a lady I need to get to know. You were so full of excitement and so full of just joy to share with us. And it was like, well, okay, let's get this lady in my chair for an interview because I need to know her secrets first. And so tell us, just give me some who you are, what you do, some background info, if you please.
Absolutely, RJ. Where to start? It was a cold day in January, the 18th to be exact, 1980. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding. But no, let's see where to start. So first and foremost, I am an officer in the United States Army, and I'm very proud of that. And I have served my country, my nation, my people for the last 20 years all over the world, to include combat zones like Afghanistan and Iraq, and also places like the Republic of Korea and Germany. It's been an amazing whirlwind experience serving my nation. I actually enlisted after September 11th. I really felt like I was scared to death. I didn't know what was happening in the world. I didn't know what could I expect? And so I said, instead of sitting here on my couch just watching the news 24/7, I'm going to do something about it. And so I enlisted, and I became an Arabic linguist.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'm guessing you want to know a little bit more about where I am now, though, since we're not here to talk about my career as an Army officer.
Well, we're not, but I just got to say, I don't take a look at you and think, yes, career Army officer.
Can I show you something that I'm one of my proudest plaques in this entire house? I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see it here. Right up there. Can you see right up there?
The blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That man right there, that is the late General Raymond Odierno. And for those of us in the military serving, and maybe even people in general, let me get my camera back right here. You will know his name because he was one of the greatest generals that has been around in our time. Just an amazing man. And I met him as a lieutenant, a young baby lieutenant. And people like him have greatly shaped my life and my career.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, first off, thanks for your service.
Thank
I
you for your
mean,
support. We couldn't do it without you, RJ. Can I just tell you, whew, one of the most touching experiences I've had was when I was a young soldier. I went to eat. I'll never forget. I went to eat at the Cracker Barrel, and I came back to the table, and the waitress said, "Oh, your check's been paid." And I was like, "Oh, who paid it?" And she pointed to this couple, and they were so sweet. And they said, "Yeah, we want to thank you for your service." And then this old, like grumpy old man in a wheelchair, kind of, he kind of, you know, chimed in. He's like, "Yeah, I wanted to pay it, but they beat me to it." And I was like, "Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. That's very kind of you." And it was really cute and really endearing. But then it just tore my heart open, RJ, because he went on to tell me how he had served in Vietnam and how nobody was buying him lunch.
no.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it just
no.
it broke my heart. It broke my heart because, even and don't get me wrong, I completely understand people that are against war. But the problem is that soldiers sign up to protect their nation.
Mhm.
They're not the ones making decisions. That's lawmakers.
Right. Right. That is absolutely correct. Well, I mean, both of my parents served.
What?
My yeah, we just never got around to this part of the conversation, but
Amazing.
yeah, my dad's a Vietnam vet, and he that experience really roughed him up, and he's in the a vet's home now
Mm.
with other vets, which really helps with some of the trauma. But yeah, he's still processing. He is still processing. You
It's
know
a
what I
lot.
mean?
It's a
He
lot.
was a little guy from Iowa, man. And just well, I shouldn't say little either. I'm little, he ain't.
Wow,
Uh
really?
he's we used to think when we were children that he was Paul Bunyan.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, but no, I mean, yeah, both my parents served, and so, gosh, yeah. Well, we'll have to talk about that another time.
Yeah, that's
But I do
amazing.
want to say, what took you from that experience and
Yeah.
bridged you into what you do today?
Yeah, I'd love to tell you, RJ, because I think it's such a poignant story, and I think it's one that everybody needs to hear. And this is why, because each of us have a purpose in this life. I truly, truly believe that each of us has a unique gift and something we need to bring to this world. And so what happened for me is I'm serving in the army and everything was going great. And then I started getting offers to work as a civilian in the same agencies, for the Department of Defense. And quite frankly, RJ, I was just going to jump into it. It's what I know, it's what I'm comfortable with, and I think we should talk about that. When we are comfortable and safe, there's something that's not. There's something that's it's we're missing something. And so that's what happened to me. I was comfortable and safe, and I had this lunch with this guy, and he was a mentor of mine, and he said, "Jen, what do you want to do when you get out of the army?" And I said, "Well, I know what I want to do. I've already got a job lined up. I'm going to be making tons of money. I'm going to be working in the civilian sector." And he said, "No, Jen, what do you
You want to do.
want to do?" Yeah. And, I again was like getting annoyed. I'm like, "I told you I already have a job lined up." And he said, "Jen, you're not listening to me. What do you want to do?" And it took me a while to figure it out, RJ, but I realized that what was going on is that he was saying, like, this is a big decision. You have a chance to really decide for yourself, what are you going to do with the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life? Are you just going to ride the wave? Or are you going to stop and ask yourself the question, what's your purpose in life? And that sent me on a journey, which led me to where I am, which is what I realized. I've really loved serving my nation, but now I want to serve other people, and I want them to find their life's purpose. And specifically, I really want to help people who have been hurt, who have been broken, who have been damaged by hard relationships, and help them to find love again.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, there's no greater call than the serving, than service, I think. And so beautiful. I love the question that your friend asked you that day. If you're still in contact, please thank him for me.
Yeah.
I think it is a question that is all too often glossed over. And I think that it's a decision that's all too often just not really made.
Yeah.
But you took the time. You took the time to make that. So, without getting into it too directly, were there
Sure.
some hard relationships that you've gotten over that you are
Ooh.
now helping some folks with?
Yeah. So, we spoke very briefly before we started, and you said that you were curious about my number one client story.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, RJ, this is
Patient
not
zero, baby.
this is
Yes.
this is patient zero. And, first of all, it all starts with you, right? And in life, we experience trauma, tragedy, heartbreak, really challenging things. And I truly believe that God gives us those challenges because He wants us to grow stronger. And then He really wants us to be able to help others. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. It's growing your own muscle, your own strength, and then using that to make the world a better place. Because no matter what, the world is going to continue to be shitty. They're going to be, I don't mean to say it's shitty. It's beautiful. The world is beautiful, but there are going to be shitty aspects of it that we all encounter. I guess I better clarify. Am I allowed to curse on here? I apologize.
Curse at will.
Okay,
My
because
audience
I have
loves
a potty mouth.
you, and I love you, and however you need to express.
Thank you, RJ. Thank you. But yeah, like, um, and so that's what it was for me. I had a public, very public trauma, a very public fall. And basically, what happened is I enlisted in the Army right after September 11th as a young, starry eyed soldier. I'm going to go save my country. I'm going to go save the world. And very naive, very naive. And what happened is when I got to my first duty station in Germany, my brigade commander, who was basically, if you're not familiar with military lingo, being a brigade commander means you're responsible for him. It was almost 5,000 soldiers in Iraq.
Oh.
And he took a shining to me, and he took an interest in me. And it started a sexual relationship. And two things were extremely wrong with that. Number one, he's my commander. He's not supposed to be sleeping with me. I'm a soldier he's responsible for my life, especially in a combat zone. But number two, he was married as well. And so, yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I mean, you get that, RJ. And there's some people in this world that would be like, oh, he's married. Like, I'm not a judger. Me personally, I believe like if you're married, you're committed to somebody, like that should mean something. But the thing is, what happened with him is he basically told me the story about how being in the military is hard, and how is a man supposed to be away from his wife for 12, 15 months without being able to be with a woman. And I believed that. And then I came to find out, no, his wife did not know. That was all lies. And then when I tried to end the relationship, RJ, he basically had his hooks in me in every single way, both mentally, physically, but also professionally.
Yeah.
I mean, this man had complete control over my life. And I'm sure you're aware of this, but most of the viewers may not understand. In the military, the commander has what's called Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ authority over his soldiers. And not to mention that, he also had control over my career. And so it immediately got rough after that. I tried to break away from him. I couldn't. I ended up, the Army sent me off in another location. And then he got promoted to be a general in the Army. he contacted the Human Resources Command and said, hey, bring this. I would think I was a captain at the time. Bring this captain to me. She's going to work for me. And even I remember even the branch manager saying, like, this is not the way things happen, but he's a general, so we're going to send you there. And then it got so bad, RJ, because I realized he was doing this to other women. Actually, in the division now, it was in the 82nd Airborne Division, which is like the premier division in the Army. And long story short, when I found out he was doing it to other women, I felt like I finally had some evidence to come forward, and finally somebody would believe me, because it was my voice against, this combat hardened, general in the Army who'd been serving for 25 years. And here I am, just some young captain. So I finally had the courage to come forward, and it ended up with me testifying in a sexual assault case that made national news, national headlines, RJ. I mean, we're talking New York Times here. Like, it was humiliating, and it was the lowest point of my life. And it got so bad that I tried to kill myself. And I remember my friends saying, like, I don't know how you're still here. They wrote the most horrible things about me in the media, because, the Army does not care about society's views on justice. They don't care. Excuse me. Sorry. And I apologize if the house phone now rings, because my husband, he loves to call like the cell, and if I don't answer, he calls the house phone. So I apologize if it rings. But yeah, so the Army doesn't care. So the Army wasn't doing anything to sway public opinion. Well, this general had hired a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign. So they literally were feeding, news stories to all the outlets. And of course, they were very one-sided, very one-sided. And it was, and after that, I survived it. But it was several years, RJ, before I could trust. Am I good or am I good?
You are.
Am I good or good? If you don't mind, I'm just doing real quick.
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
Hi, my love. I'm live right now. Okay, I love you. Okay, bye. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're totally fine.
But yeah, so I got to the point, and RJ, if you can't tell, like, I am a raging ball of love. Like, the one thing I've always known about myself is I love people. I've always been that way. Like, I can't help but meet someone and fall in love with them, because I don't know, it's just, and I think it's such a gift from God to be able to see in people, like, sometimes what they don't see in themselves,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I realized, like, sorry, camera's kind of being funny here, but I realized I was made for love. And then I went on a journey to say, I'm going to find love. It was hard though. And it's so hard. And for the viewers out there, I'm sure you can relate to it. When you have been broken and you have been manipulated and you have been treated like a piece of garbage for so long, it's really hard to imagine finding someone that can really love you and value you for you and respect you. So man, yeah. So I am my client, and I like to tell all my clients, I've gone through the really, really hard stuff, and that's empowered me to be able to help you. But I also like to say, I've paid a shit ton of money to get the skills that I need to figure this out. And so that's why I like to say, I love to save my clients a shit ton of money, because I got all the training myself,
I bumped my head, and now you don't have to.
Exactly. Amen. That's
yeah,
it.
that's the way. That's the way.
That's it.
Oh wow. I just so how long have you been coaching then?
Yeah, not very long actually. Well, let's explain the difference here. I've actually been coaching for a very long time.
Right, exactly.
So for a very long time, actually, in the United States Army, being an officer, I coach and I still coach almost every day. We are a business that does not fuck around. We're dealing with people's lives. We're dealing with, humans at the other end of our operations, and whether that's the enemy or whether that is, bystanders, it's a very serious business. And so I coach almost every day. But in this profession, in the way that you've met me, I've only been coaching actually for a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
And the reason is because as I'm getting ready to retire, I've actually had some time now to dedicate towards getting my business off the ground. So in terms of actually getting paid by someone other than the United States Army, then yeah, I've only been doing it a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you know, people, I meet all kinds of people in situations where they're bridging. You know, they
Yeah.
are stepping from one to another. I'm so glad you're here,
Thank you. Me
and
too.
I'm so glad to have you know, just run upon you in a summit. This is you know, if you don't mind me saying, this is the energy the world needs, right?
Oh, amen. You
Yeah.
know, RJ, I had some, I won't say heated, but I had some serious and truthful conversations with some friends and family about the travesty that just happened in Uvalde, Texas.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of people that think they have the answer, you know, and I'm not making this political. I'm not a political person. I don't have the energy for that. But there are Democrats saying, you know, we need tighter, stricter gun laws. And then on the other side, you've got Republicans saying, like, no, that never works because all you're doing is you're impeding on the rights of law abiding citizens. And RJ, my question is, why is nobody talking about the one thing that costs nothing that we all can do, that is the only thing that can really make a difference? And that is love, RJ. And I'll tell you why it got a little heated because when I'm having this discussion, you know, sometimes some of my friends and family will say, Jen, that's, you know, that'll never solve it. That's too simplistic. And I'm like, no, it is simplistic. It is. But the thing is, and first of all, it will never change when you say that. If you have the mindset, it's never going to change. That's not enough. Well, right away, that means that you're making the decision that your personal power is not enough. So you personally are not going to reach out. You're not going to love the people around you. You're not going to stop and be courteous and kind to a stranger in the fucking street who probably just needs somebody to give a shit about them, RJ. But
Truth.
you have to care and you have to believe it. Everything in life starts with a decision. And you know, I go back to this young man, this 18-year-old that shot up this elementary school, and I can't help but ask the question, who was loving him?
Yeah.
Who gave a shit about him? You know, who actually pulled him aside and like grabbed his shoulders, looked him in the eye and said, I love you. You matter. What are you doing, man? And RJ, that's what we need. We need, and you know, here's the thing too. Sorry if I'm getting on my little soapbox here, but
Oh, well, that's a podcast really is a soapbox.
thank
So
God, lady. Thank God. You can just do this, like, give me the X and that'll let me know to wind down. But no, here's the thing, RJ, is that it really is so simple because it's not about doing some big grand gesture. We don't need to fucking change politics. We don't need more laws. We don't need to go protest something. It's so fucking simple. If each and every one of us does what we can with who we can, when we can, the whole fucking world would shift. Because guess what? I've got my circle of people, I've got my sphere. You've got your sphere. Your audience members have their sphere. And all we have to do is be responsible for what we are responsible for. That's it. You don't need to go out and, you know, make 100 new friends, and you don't need to go out and meet new people and go try and solve world hunger or you know, solve what's right in front of you. Be the best person that you can be every single day and give a shit about somebody else.
that's the truth. You know that we had a shooting here. It was a while ago now, but
In Missouri Valley?
no, no, no. That's no, that's where I grew up. I live
Oh,
in
okay.
Omaha.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so we had one here, and one of the questions that I had, watching the news, uh was, who took this kid aside, I
Mhm.
mean, and it was a situation with mental health. It was a situation, I mean, it was fraught with lots and lots of levels. It wasn't a simple problem at all. But here's the question: can complicated problems have simple but powerful solutions?
Yes.
There you go.
I know that in my heart, RJ.
Oh, I know you do.
I know that.
No,
I know
I
that.
got you 100%. I mean, that's the and the whole thing about do what you can.
Yeah.
So I have had weight problems my
Yeah.
entire life.
Yeah.
Started in grade school. And the only time that I was able to take charge of it was it was many years ago. Well, probably 10 or 15 years ago. I went on the lemonade diet where you don't eat food, you just drink lemonade all
Master Cleanse. I think I've
ma-
tried that one as well.
I went on Master Cleanse and I was on it for 6 months.
Oh
Yeah. I was
my
on it for
God.
6 months, and then I met my girlfriend who is now my wife,
She's so beautiful,
and
by the way.
you hum?
She's so beautiful. I love your pictures together. You guys are adorable.
Oh my gosh, I love her so much. Our anniversary is coming.
Oh, yeah, I should probably warn you, I did a little bit of Facebook stalking.
Okay. Well, isn't that just due diligence in this day and age? But I met her and she's a pharmacist, and she found out that I was just lemonading basically, and she's like, "At once, I'm feeding you an apple." I mean, she is just like, "No, you cannot do this to yourself." And I'm like, "Well, but my weight loss." Anyway, fast forward 10 years later,
Yeah,
and we're both, tipping the scales a little bit,
yeah.
or a lot. And
Oh,
and so we've tried this new thing together. It's called Noom or whatever.
Oh,
Um,
I love Noom. I did Noom for a while.
oh my God, I love Noom.
I love it.
I love it. And what it does is it's the experience of, hey, this journey might not be what you think it is. This journey is more about doing the things you can do, having a little power over your situation,
That's right.
and doing the things you can do. And it's much less about, calling some food bad and, all of the things that we're taught, the food culture, right?
That's right.
So I just think that that's been so powerful for me and Meg, because it's a whole new world out there.
Yeah.
And I think that the only thing that's missing, just bringing it back in terms of what you do, I think the only thing is missing is that many people do not believe love will work.
It's the only thing that works, RJ.
Oh,
Even for
right there you
ourselves,
go, right
it's the
there.
only thing that works. Let me tell you, I also struggle with weight. I have not gotten, I mean, I have been obese, period. Like at least that's what, science would say. And in the army, you cannot be obese. You cannot be. You have to maintain a certain level of body fat percentage. And so I went through a really, really hard time. Well, first of all, let me say this. Fat serves a purpose. And everyone has to understand that.
Mm.
And when you really get down to it, if you are holding excess weight, and I'm not making any judgments on you, RJ or Meg, but something to think about, if you are holding excess weight, it is because your body is trying to protect you from something. Now, that could be physical things like toxins in the body. A lot of time that today's day and age, there's so much stuff in the air, microplastics, toxins, mercury. Like, we could go on and on talking about that stuff. But so first and foremost, if there's toxins in your body, fat has to exist because fat surrounds the toxins and protects your body from those toxins. So that's number one with actual physical aspects of toxins in your body. But number two, RJ, fat protects you from psychological or perceived dangers as well. And that was something that I noticed right away, is that when I went through the worst of what I went through, I instantly started putting on weight. And believe it or not, I hadn't, my diet wasn't changing. My workout wasn't changing. I've always been a soldier. I've always worked out. But my body just started putting on weight. And what was really crazy, RJ, was basically I had a breakthrough thanks to Tony Robbins. I want to say it was in January. He had this free event, which was absolutely incredible. It was called the Ultimate Breakthrough Challenge 2022. And in this challenge, he said, I challenge you to go live and to talk about the labels that are on you, and then for you to relabel yourself. And so I don't even know how I had the courage to do it, because in 8 years, I had never spoken publicly about, testifying against that general. But I didn't, fully come out, but I basically said, I am not a victim. And that alone, I automatically, I think I lost I don't know, 6 or 7 pounds after that video. And I was like, oh, well, that's really interesting. Well, then what happened is later on, I was talking to a friend online doing a live, and he started talking about how he had tried to kill himself. And so it then brought up all these emotions in me, and I ended up telling my story of how I tried to kill myself. And there was something so freeing about that, RJ. And that, releasing that, it really caused me to do what I like to call the Eminem mic drop, the 8 Mile mic drop. Have you seen that movie?
No, I have not.
What? Shut up! How have you not seen 8 Mile?
I am not a big Eminem fan, so I just never.
That's fair. No, that's fair. But you have to look up. I don't know. I'm sure if you just look up 8 Mile mic drop, it'll probably come up. And the scene is so brilliant because he's in the final big rap competition back and forth. And for the very final round, he chooses to go first. And basically in a rap battle, they just shout insults back and forth at each other. It's like, who can say the worst, most horrible thing about the other person, right? And make it funny and entertaining, but devastating to the other person. And so what he does, RJ, I'm telling you, it's freaking brilliant. What he does is he says he wants to go first. And then he proceeds to say every single thing that is fucked up in his life. Like, he's like, yeah, my best friend did shoot himself in the dick. And yeah, my girlfriend did cheat on me with my best friend. And yeah, this, and yeah, I did grow up in a trailer. And yeah, my mom is a drug addict. And I mean, he literally spews it all out and does it in this rap. And then so he gets done and he's like, so now what? And so immediately it's the other guy's turn, right?
Yeah.
And he's got the mic and he's like, because what are you going to say? What are you going to say, RJ, when literally you put out the deepest, darkest, most shameful thing, the thing that you pray to God nobody knows about because you'd be so embarrassed. It is so fucking powerful. And that's what I did. I went and I recorded myself. No edits, no nothing. Matter of fact, I was actually naked in my sauna. I mean, I didn't show anything. Like, it was appropriate. It was like, neck up. But I literally was naked in every single aspect, physically and emotionally. I put it all out on the table and I said, you think you know my story? Well, here's my story. And I'm telling you, RJ, I think I dropped 15 pounds after I went live with that video.
Wow.
And talking to people that are really in tune with with the body and how it works. I came to find out later because I couldn't understand it. And I was eating like shit too. I mean, I think I don't know if you know Suzanne Evans, but I was doing her Driven event, which was just incredible. And I was like going upstairs eating like macaroons and like I'm trying to remember and just bread, like sourdough bread was like croissants, like shoving my face. And I was like, how am I losing weight? I'm eating nothing but carbs. Right. And then sure enough, though, I talked to a good friend who her whole profession is this. And she said, Jen, your body has kept this fat on itself because it's protecting you. And so that's why I go back to, to you, RJ. And I, there's some people in my life who I love more than anything who also carry a lot of extra fat on them. And it's not your fault. It is not your fault.
Well, I believe that, and we may have gone down a trail today, and that you know what? Sometimes the adventure is just worth every step. And gosh, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're coaching. The world needs you. The world needs a Jenny. Oh my gosh. Yes. And yeah, just wonderful stuff. I'm mostly, you know what? I am grateful right now for all of those people that you're going to touch in your life. You
It's
are.
exciting. It's exciting, RJ. Can I tell you about one of my clients right now?
Yeah, do
He's
it.
so adorable. He's so freaking adorable. This guy has everything. He's got a really great job. He's got, he's making really good money, very good looking, really physically fit, just a beautiful human being. And he and I joke because I'll say things to him like, oh, today I was just daydreaming about what I'm going to say at your wedding. And, he wrote back something that, what, matter of fact, I'm going to tell you what he said. He wrote back and he said, I won't say his name just because I don't, I'm not going to put himself out there, or put him out there. And my phone is being really stubborn right now.
You're in
But
technology.
I know, right? But he said, you're talking about the wrong person. I'm not married. And I said, and why? Do you see what this is doing right now? It's like it's stuck on a YouTube. And I don't know why, because I truly want to tell you what I said back to him. I want to tell you, but I guess I'll have to just say it because my phone is like, does anybody know?
Yeah.
I'm new to Apple. I'm like, why are you not doing what I want you to do, Apple? Anyways, but basically what I told him, RJ, is I said, my friend, it's going to be so wonderful when at your wedding, I come up to you in between a dance with you and your beautiful wife, and I pull up my phone and I point back to this text
Mm.
and I say, do you remember when I told you you were going to be here? And it's already done, RJ. It's already done. And that's what I do for my clients. Sometimes you just need someone that can believe for you. And
Truth.
sometimes you just need someone to hold space for you so you can process what's going on. And it's exciting. And I have a goal, RJ. I want to attend 5 weddings by next year of my clients. That's my goal. And look, I'm not even like, that's a lot, right? Because you got to find someone, you got to fall in love, and then you got to plan the wedding. So that might be a little much. I guess probably what's more realistic, I should say, I want to be aware of 5 of my clients planning weddings by this
All
time next
right.
year. But I believe for it, RJ. I believe for it. And sometimes it's so simple that people just don't even realize they're so hard on themselves. But if they have someone that can hold that safe space for them, they'll be amazed that all the answers are inside. They have all the ingredients. They just need the right chef to help put the ingredients together and put it in the oven.
There you go. A little guidance. And that's what a perfect snapshot of who you are and what you do. On behalf of all of the other coaches in the whole wide world, welcome to the ranks
Oh,
Come on in. There's so much room for you. And there's room for absolutely what you do. In fact, it's super needed in the world. So thanks for joining the family. It's going to be a good time. Sometimes it'll be rough, but it's a good time.
thanks.
And yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. For those of you who are really like super resonating with what Jenny has said, facebook.com is the best place to get a hold of Miss Jenny James Mahoney. Go just her personal page, go hit her up, say hello. It's what an incredibly what a journey you've been on, and now that you've chosen to honor everybody else in the world by sharing it, I feel honored that you shared it with me, with us.
Thanks, RJ.
And I'm just gonna have to have you back again,
I can't wait.
so that we can talk about all of the things that are unfolding in your business.
I would love that.
If you had one pearl of wisdom to offer
Yeah.
the folks who are watching, listening, what would it be?
Well, what topic are we on? Advice for
There's
what?
so many, but one pearl of wisdom, just yank something out of that string you got.
One pearl of wisdom. Well, I'm just going to use the fact that I've already hit on it a few times to maybe drive home the point a little bit more. Love where you are right now, and that includes yourself and that includes others. Because there are so many people, RJ, that are so unhappy with where they are that they don't realize there is magic in the moment. And this is something I teach my clients. There is always magic in the moment. And for example, looking back on my story, just to where I almost killed myself, that's something that I think your average person would say they would love to avoid that scenario.
Yes.
But for me, there's magic in that moment because by going to the lowest depths of shame and of sorrow and of pain, on the other side of it, I'm able to help other people.
Yeah.
But again, it all comes down to loving yourself. I also believe loving God and then loving other people. And the thing is, RJ, no matter what's going on in your life, if you are having a hard day, if you're having a hard time, if you're depressed, try and go out and show some love to someone else without feeling better. It's impossible.
That sounds like
It's
a
impossible.
dare, Jenny James. Is that a dare?
Yes. Yes. But most people, most people, when they're upset, they're so in their own world that they don't even have the energy to attempt to give it to somebody else. But that is the one thing, because here's the thing, life is reciprocity, RJ. You can't get anything in this world without giving it first. If you want money, you got to be generous with your money. If you want love, you have to give love. You can't just expect that these things are going to come to you because that's not the way the world works. So if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're unhappy, get your mind off of you and go give it to somebody. Just say, you know what? I'm miserable. I'm upset. I'm depressed. But just for a moment, just for 20 minutes, just challenge yourself. Just say 20 minutes. I'm going to go give love to somebody who needs it. And RJ, I'm telling you, love is like perfume. You can't spray somebody else without getting some on yourself. That aroma is going to land on you as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a beautiful point. That's a beautiful point to end this journey we've been taking this afternoon. I want to thank you again.
I think you too, RJ.
God.
And can I just make one more point?
Yes,
Because
please.
I feel bad. I feel like maybe my personal story took up too much of our time, but I do want to
Please
say,
do.
I know you and I had talked about engagement and how that's so important that we engage with our clients and we engage with community and how do we get ourselves out there. And I just want to tie that into my number one piece of advice, which is if you're a coach or any business for that matter, what's really going to get you the people, the clients, the business that you desire, it's authentic engagement
Mhm.
and loving people. Whether that's, somebody makes a comment on your Facebook channel, don't just hit like. Sometimes we don't have time. I'm not saying I respond to everybody. That I absolutely don't have time for that. But if somebody makes a comment on my page or during my video, I legitimately take time to say, thank you. And here's a response to what you said. And that's what we need to do as business owners, as coaches. We need to be less worried about numbers and more worried about the individual connection.
Connections. Yes. Yes. Clients are more important than clicks, everybody.
Ooh, amen. Come on.
Connection is more important than being able to influence people to buy a perfume. This is, well, we've got plenty to talk about, but we can't do it anymore today because we all got places to be.
I love you, lady.
I love you. I love you as well. And hey, for the audience, again, go hit her up on her Facebook page. We had it streaming along there on the bottom. And also just want to invite everybody to, my next crazy little adventure. It's Butts in Seats. It's called Butts in Seats Live, and it is for any coach who has ever said to themselves, I'd really like to have an event, a virtual event, but I don't know how, I don't know where to start, and I'm afraid that no one will come or the right people won't come.
Yeah.
It is a free event, and it's happening June 6, 7, 8, buttsandseatslive.com. We are so excited to be putting that thing on. It is just going to be absolutely unbelievable. We have got so much to share about event planning. That's my friend Anna. She's going to be on talking about all her event planning knowledge. And then there's me, how to engage your audience before, during, and after that event. So hope to see y'all there. Gonna be a great time. And with that, Russ, will you take us out?
Never fear, the Black Belt Bots are here, presenting another epic experience with your host, RJ Redden.